What? The Devil's Advocate discussion, B2 to C2 level. How? Phrases using the language function of expressing agreement and disagreement are presented or elicited and then practiced in a controlled way. Then students work in groups of ideally 6. Each group has a bag. In the bag, there are a certain number of slips of paper on which controversial statements have been written. And there are 6 small cards or balls, etc., on which a number from 1 to 6 has been written. On a whiteboard or screen visible to everyone, there is a list of phrases that have been studied in the class, ranging from number 1, totally disagreeing, to number 6, totally agreeing. For example, number 1, I'm afraid I totally disagree with. Number 2, I'm not so sure about that. Number 3, I'm in 2 minds about that. Number 4, I do agree with you, or I do agree with that statement up to a point, but. Number 5, I generally agree with you on that point, or I generally agree with that statement. However, number 6, I couldn't agree with you, or I couldn't agree with that statement more. These can be referred to during the activity, but do not need to be repeated word for word. For added support, there could certainly be more than one phrase for each number. If, for example, the students are preparing for the Jessie Grade 7 exam, I suggest using controversial statements based on a Grade 7 conversation phase subject area. For example, education. Sentences such as, single-sex schools benefit students greatly. It's cruel to send children to boarding school. All school uniforms should be abolished. If, for example, the students are preparing for the ISE2 exam, the statements could be linked to the world of work. Sentences such as, a cleaner should earn the same salary as a doctor. Going to university is a waste of time and money. Doing 4 hours of voluntary work a week should be obligatory for all adults. So, one student takes a slip of paper from the bag and reads the statement aloud. Then all the students take a numbered card or ball from the bag. The students have to react to the statement according to the number they have drawn, thinking of as many reasons as possible to justify their point of view. Depending on the English level of the individual student or the whole group, what ensues can range from a simple dialogue to a heated discussion. It is important to remind the students that the opinions they express have to be in line with the number they have drawn from the bag. Once the group has exhausted the topic of the argument, or at a signal from the teacher, the statement is put aside and another statement is drawn from the bag. New numbers are also drawn. Why? In the Trinity oral exams from A1 upwards, in all or some of the sections, depending on the specific exam, the examiner will elicit and the candidate is expected to demonstrate the language requirements of the grade. In other words, an authentic but structured conversation takes place, not just a chat. In this activity, extremely useful phrases related to expressing agreement and disagreement are used in a natural conversation, just like they might be in the exam. The element of chance in choosing a number, and almost certainly at some point having to play devil's advocate, adds another layer of fun and thinking to a normal discussion activity. It also ensures that all the appropriate phrases are used. Moreover, using the conversation phase subject areas as a source for the statements means that grade-relevant lexis and ideas are also being practiced. Thank you.